Elumelu demands Pantami'S resignation. Gbajabiamila blocks motion. The minority leader of the House of Representatives, Ndudi Elumelu, on Wednesday urged the House to demand resignation or sack the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, for once backing activities of jihadist leaders and deadly Islamic sects. Okay, Pantami has been under fire for once preaching the violent cause of extremist Islamic sects and jihadist narratives of Al-Qaeda and the Taliban before he became minister in the cabinet of President Major Muhammadu Buhari. At the plenary on Wednesday, Elumelu raised a point of order to demand that the House acts on the issue. He particularly demanded the minister's resignation or sack. The Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, however, overruled the minority leader, noting that Elumelu came under the matter, and the matter being raised had nothing to do with his privilege as a lawmaker. Oh, really? He said, "Your point of order is noted," Gbajabiamila said, and hit the gavel. The plenary has since moved to other items on the House agenda. But why? Why? I don't understand. So are you trying to say that there's certain topics that certain lawmakers can't talk about because their privilege does not grant it? I don't understand. What? Isn't it a national problem? Someone says Gbajabiamila went to Mecca before he was made the speaker. He will support Pantami'S master's choice and do everything to frustrate the motion always. But at the end of them, all of them will be defeated by God's grace. Someone says it is unfortunate that almost everybody, groups and countries have lost interest and hope in Nigeria and her government already. With many years of existence and experience in Nigeria, I've never seen a better Nigeria, and I strongly believe that Nigeria will never get better together. Referendum is a democratic tool for peace and unity and was rejected by the Nigerian government rather they embraced aiding terrorism. So again, I don't know, how does referendum work? Can someone put that in the comment section? Because again, does the government give a referendum, or do people decide that we want a referendum? I don't understand. Since when do we now need the government's... See, this is my thing with government, okay? Why are we now restricted just because a select few are making decisions on our behalf? So, excuse me, we put you there to make decisions for us, so we have the power. But that's what they try to make it look like, as make it seem. But the fact is, what do you mean it was rejected? Like, is a referendum rejected by a government, or like the people decide they want a referendum and it happens? Or is that a bit too naive and too fairy tale like for a country like Nigeria? Someone says Gbajabiamila is a suspected ex-convict. He entered into an oath before they allowed him to become the speaker. A product of evil is demon himself. All right. Okay, there's no need. Someone says, I can't really believe I watched this screening and admire his credentials, but his Al-Qaeda connection was not included in the CV. Nothing to be ashamed of. If you love it when unbelievers are gruesomely murdered and bombed, say through to your ideology, Osama will be proud of you. Well, he actually endorsed Osama bin Laden and saying that he is a better Muslim than himself, Pantami. Someone says, is this not the same man who changed his faith in order to be made speaker? Oh, really? So what should anybody expect from him so long he's compromised? I weep for Nigeria, where people without conscience are giving positions of authority. Yes, the country we live in. It's absolutely sad. So again, can you confirm in the comment section below if Gbajabiamila actually switched his religion just to become a speaker? That's very desperate. Come on, think big. Someone says, I'm sure if he were to be an Igbo man or Yoruba man of the opposition party, they would have shown him the way to his house, but it is them and their party. They would always find something to back it up. Absolutely. But again, it's just the whole corruption in the country. Everything is just messed up. It's so messed up to the fact that there's nowhere to start from. You can't even start from somewhere and try to work up or down or sides, left, right. You can't do that because the country is so abnormal. And I think that if you don't have the opportunity to travel out, I think you might never necessarily know. Obviously you have the internet, obviously you have obviously you have movies and all that, but I think that when you actually live and experience what it's like to work in in an infrastructure that is very good, that is very normal, and there's a logical chain of reaction in terms of how things work and how it happens, and it's very much justified because you apply your common sense every time. Like, Nigeria is just so abnormal. Nigeria works like the extreme, is the opposite of anything good, but at the extreme end, like so extreme. So again, what do we expect? All the tiers of government are already compromised. The legislative, the judiciary. I mean, come on, cases are being held for like what, 12 years, just because they don't want to get to a result, and because they know that some people be found guilty, which they'd want to cover up. Someone says there's no question that if I in any way become this country's president, I swear that I will lock these politicians away for the rest of their lives. But the thing is, there's select people that we do not know make the decisions, and the fact is, we are not the only stakeholders. The ninth National Assembly are the worst National Assembly Nigeria ever produced so far. Why on earth should Gbajabiamila block the motion? Pantami'S is supposed to have been sacked since. If we're in a country that is working, but in Nigeria you commit a crime, they would rather give you another appointment, especially in this present government. Is very, very bad for the country and the tenet of democracy. Another comment here says, look around and all you see is an administration made up of the worst set of people, ranging from blatant liars, extremists, fanatics, bigots, fraudsters, lousy and callous ministers without decorum. The list goes on. In all her years of existence as a sovereign state, Nigeria hasn't had it this messy. Nigeria was not meant to have existed, but it exists now, so we have to just deal with it. The change that we're looking for, we might want it a bit too quick, which cannot be possible in some ways. However, I think succession is the best way. We just have to separate, and separation does not mean that we'll have to start beefing each other after. It doesn't have to be a bad one. For the bad people who do not want the interests of Nigerians, or the positive interests to be possible, then obviously for them it is bad, and they can hold whatever grudges they have. It is absolutely their problem and their problem only. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, are we surprised that Gbajabiamila would, you say your point of order is noted, but then obviously that means keep quiet, let's focus on other issues? Why? Because your privilege as the lawmaker does not guarantee you the right to talk about issues like this. So again, even in power, people are still being very much shunned on what topics they can and cannot talk about. Put what you think about this in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.